story of Alexander the Great. In the records of history, not many names sparkle as splendidly as the legend of Alexander the Great. A man whose name alone inspires visions of massive armies, great conflicts, and the unwavering quest for glory. Alexander the Great is a name that has echoed down the centuries. A man who turned into a living example of ambition and conquest. From the ferocious wars of his childhood to the soaring heights of his imperial conquest, Alexander's life is a testament to the limitless potential of human desire and the unstoppable march of fate. Join me today on an amazing trip that will expose the secret story of the unstoppable force we know as Alexander the Great. The warrior prince conqueror. Born in 356 BC, this young Macedonian prince went on to become one of history's most powerful conquerors. He was taught by the philosopher Aristotle, who instilled in him a love of study, military strategy, and philosophy, and from an early age he showed remarkable promise. The assassination of King Philip II placed Alexander on the throne at the age of 20. Alexander, whose destiny was foretold in the stars, received the Macedonian realm from his father, King Philip II. But no one realized that this prince had a burning desire to attain prominence outside of his kingdom. Alexander had exceptional leadership qualities and a voracious curiosity from a young age. His ambition had no boundaries. With an army of faithful troops, he set out on a conquest that would transform civilization. Alexander envisioned a globe united under his dominion, a vision that would propel him to the far reaches of the earth in search of glory. Aristotle sowed the seeds of ambition in Alexander's heart, encouraging him to aspire for the stars and seize the mantle of grandeur that awaited him. However, greatness does not come without sacrifice, and Alexander was determined to pay any price to realize his aspirations. With Macedonia's strength at his back, he set out on a quest that would take him to the far reaches of the known globe, the countries untouched by Greek civilization and overflowing with immense wealth. Crossing the Hellespont, a conqueror's odyssey begins. The Hellespont, a narrow strait that separates Europe and Asia, became the threshold of destiny. Alexander's brave decision to cross it with an army of 40,000 warriors paved the way for a collision of cultures. The very waters seemed to whisper secrets as the young conqueror embarked on an odyssey to challenge the unimaginable, the vast Persian Empire. The Battle of Granicus, Baptism by Fire. As dust clouds rose over Asia Minor's plains, the Battle of Granicus began. Witness the clash of swords, the roar of hooves, and the birth of a legend as Alexander confronted the Persian satraps. Victory here was more than just conquering. It was the creation of a leader whose military genius defied convention. Egypt beckons. The Pharaoh's coronation. Alexander marched into Egypt, a kingdom in desperate need of freedom, leaving a path of conquest behind him, where the people welcomed him as a god and honored him with the title Pharaoh. His triumphs were unrelenting, and his techniques were unrivaled. The blazing sands witnessed the rise of a new Pharaoh, a foreign conqueror who was greeted as a savior. Behold the majestic metropolis of Alexandria, emerging from the desert, a tribute to ambition as tall as the great lighthouse that would later grace its shores. Battle of Gaugamela, the decisive clash. Enter the Gaugamela battlefield, where fate takes on its ultimate form. The battle between Alexander and Darius III became legendary. Despite being greatly outnumbered, he led his forces to a spectacular victory, remembered for all time because of his tactical genius and steadfast will. Darius ran away. This is a moment when one man's vision rose above the limitations of mortal ambition and became a legendary tale, a triumph of strategy, fortitude, and pure daring. Surrounded by chaos, Alexander demonstrated strategic brilliance as he assumed the title of King of Kings and ascended to the Persian Empire's throne. Alexander's gaze shifted eastward now that he had conquered Persia. Crossing deserts and mountains, he journeyed into the enigmatic realms of Central Asia and the Indus Valley. The seductive aroma of spices, combined with the thrill of adventure as our hero forged ahead, leaving an unforgettable mark on the sands of time. Roxana's embrace, love, and loyalty. A love story unfolded amidst the noise of conquest. Alexander's marriage to Roxana, a Persian noble princess, represented cultural fusion and cross-border relationships. Alexander found comfort in the arms of his sweetheart, but approaching obstacles threatened to put doubt into their relationship. The Gordian knot of intrigue, betrayals, and rivalries. As Alexander's empire grew, so did the level of discontent among his generals and soldiers. The thrill of success had faded, replaced with a sour taste of rivalry and betrayal. Amid rumors of conspiracy and treachery, the foundations of an empire established on one man's dreams began to crumble. The uncharted depths, the Battle of Hydaspes. As Alexander pushed beyond the end of the known world, crossing the Bees River, his warriors began to doubt the limitless desire that drove them. Witness the hardship of an army stretched thin and yearning for home, as well as the steadfast drive of a leader who saw no end to his victories. At the Battle of Hydaspes, Alexander's soldiers confronted King Porus's powerful army, which controlled the country along the banks of the Hydaspes River. King Porus led a troop that included war elephants, posing a formidable threat to Alexander's cavalry-heavy army. By now, the Macedonian soldiers had been on the march non-stop for years, through many hardships, conflicts, and hard terrain. The soldiers resisted the idea of moving farther into India, where they would have to deal with unidentified obstacles and a strange landscape. They were growing weary, and their spirits were dipping. It is said that at the Bees River, Alexander's army mutinied, and his soldiers expressed their unwillingness to continue the march farther east. The Bees River became a symbol of resistance for the tired soldiers, who refused to proceed any further. Alexander, seeing his army's sentiments and realizing the logistical problems of pushing deeper into India, grudgingly agreed to retreat. This decision marked a turning point in Alexander's conquest, as it was at the Bees River that he abandoned his plans to reach the Ganges and explore the eastern extents of the Persian Empire. Instead, he decided to return on a journey to Babylon. The Bees River flowed crimson with the blood of warriors as Alexander's army clashed with the forces of King Porus in one of the most epic battles of antiquity. However, his ambitions ultimately led to his downfall. The tragic fall. Despite his accomplishments, Alexander's story took a terrible turn. Alexander died at the age of 32 from an unexplained illness. At the height of his power, beset by tiredness and a wounded spirit, his health began to deteriorate quickly. He died suddenly, leaving a vacuum that could never be replaced. His empire disintegrated after his death, igniting a power struggle among his generals and marked the end of an era. Despite his victories on the battlefield, Alexander was more than a conqueror. He was a visionary, a man ahead of his time. In his wake, he left not only conquered territories, but also a legacy of enlightenment and cultural exchange. He dreamed of a global empire, where Greek culture would merge with the traditions of the lands he conquered, ushering in an era of unity and enlightenment. However, Alexander's conquests were for more than just power. He aspired to unite cultures, ushering in the Hellenistic civilization. Alexander disseminated Greek influence all over the ancient world through art, architecture, and literature. His charisma was unrivaled, and his legacy expanded with each victory. Conclusion. Alexander the Great's story is more than just one of conquering. It is also one of unwavering ambition, intellectual curiosity, and humanity's invincible spirit. Alexander's legacy lives on. His military methods and leadership style influenced future commanders for decades. Today, we remember Alexander the Great as a visionary, an explorer, and a legendary conqueror. He left an enduring mark on history that will never be erased. His name will always be remembered. His triumphs were unrelenting, and his techniques were unrivaled. Alexander's military strength was not the only thing that distinguished him. His spirit was unbreakable, and he had an insatiable thirst for knowledge. This voracious need for knowledge shaped Alexander's great vision of a united world. Please like and subscribe for more captivating historical journeys.